With your Sammy, grab a sneaky snacky. All items under $3, including the new Chicken Jr. Grab 2 for $9 in sneaky snackies all week long. Open late weekends at 7 Mile Beach in Red Bay till midnight on Thursdays and 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Full menu at burgerking.ky.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Please be advised that the Cayman Islands is now under hurricane warning. Water Authority Cayman would like to urge all customers to complete all necessary hurricane preparations and seek shelter as soon as possible. Depending on the forecasted path and predicted severity of the storm, it may be necessary for the authority to temporarily interrupt water service in order to protect the storage reserves for restoration. Should this action be necessary, the authority will give as much notice as possible once such a decision has been made. Customers should ensure they have sufficient water stored for drinking and non-drinking purposes. If you are planning to shelter somewhere other than your property, the Water Authority advises you to turn off the customer shut-off valve to prevent unexpectedly high water bills and property damage should a leak occur in your property's plumbing during the storm. Please continue to follow official channels, listen to your radio, or visit their website and or social media accounts for further updates.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. The breeze may not be or it may be fresh, but it will be strong as well at some point in time here in the Cayman Islands. We do hope when it comes that everyone is prepared as well, and we will be talking about that preparedness this morning. I want to thank all of you who have tuned in to Radio Cayman, one of your official sources of information here in the Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, and you should really be out there only if you are required to do so as a result of the work that you do, meaning that you probably work for in an industry that is critical to the continuity of service here in the Cayman Islands. Otherwise, if you don't have to be on our roads, we urge you, please don't go out there unless it is absolutely necessary for you to be on our roads. But if you're out there, if you have to be out there, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road if you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. This morning, while it is a regular For the Record show, we will have a representative from the National Weather Service into the studio with us after the 8 o'clock news. We will also have Her Excellency, the Governor, Mrs. Jane Owen, and the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, the Premier of the Cayman Islands, here in the studio with us at 8:30 this morning as well, keeping you informed. We also, you would have heard on the news and Radio Cayman and our bulletin board as well, that there will be a press briefing this afternoon. I think that's at 2 p.m., as well, all in an effort to keep the people of the Cayman Islands informed. Also to say to you that we see already mischievous posts that are going out there with individuals pretending to be or to represent certain entities providing false information. For those of you out there who see this as a game or as a joke, it isn't. People's lives, people's safety, including your own, they are on the line. So this is really not the time for you to try to create chaos in any way. And that is why, again, we urge you to get your news, not necessarily from WhatsApp or from TikTok or whatever. Go to your official source of news, the Cayman Islands government and its related entities, as well. So this morning, I want to say again, welcome to For the Record. And this is still a sponsored spot, so we still have the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. So there are sponsors. Our phone lines are open. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number, 925-3261. Later on during the show as well, we will be talking with someone from the Humane Society, talking about the care of pets as well as animal welfare. Of course, there are some shelters that allow you to take your pet with you, and you should identify those particular shelters, as well. We will be talking, about animal safety. Like I said earlier, we'll have someone from the National Weather Service in the studio. We will also have the governor. We will also have the premier in the studio. And if we are unable to link up with our members of parliament, we certainly invite them to call in if they have any information that they would like to impart to their constituencies or to the Cayman Islands in general. We certainly welcome you to do that as well. Also to remind you that our prayers should be extended to our neighbors, Jamaica. In Jamaica, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has declared the entire country, has put the entire country under a state of Let me check and see if it's a curfew or if it is, okay, whether it is, I'll find that and pass that on to you, but the entire country is definitely placed under some form of alert, as far, okay, yes, here it is. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has declared the entire island a disaster area for the next 7 days as Jamaica braces for Hurricane Beryl. An island-wide curfew will be in effect between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Wednesday. So that's an island-wide curfew between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And we know that it's going to be difficult to enforce that. You really can only rely on people's good judgment, as well. The article goes on to say that Holness made the announcement in a national broadcast on Tuesday. He also announced the imposition of an evacuation order for flood-prone and low-lying areas. He urged residents to cooperate with notices for evacuation when they are issued, and he also announced an allocation of $5 million for each of the 63 constituencies for emergency response. So the entire island of Jamaica has been declared a disaster area for the next 7 days. So again, Prime Minister of Jamaica being proactive and with the expectation that they will be adversely affected by Hurricane Beryl as well. Before we go to the commercial break, I just want to say, and this is not meant to insult anyone's intelligence, but you will hear terms when it comes to water and water safety. You will hear the term potable water. And I thought it would be important to explain to you what the words potable water means. Potable water is defined as water that is suitable for human consumption. That is, water that can be used for drinking or cooking. The term also implies that water is drinkable as well as safe. So when you hear or bulletins go out, or when you hear press releases either coming from the Water Authority or from other sources, and they use the term potable water, it means water that is suitable for you to consume, and also it means water that can be used for cooking as well. Potable water. And take the hint from the word part of that, potable, P-O-T, pot. Able to be put in the pot. That would be my breakdown of that word as well. Folks, we're going to go to our first commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the historical vignette series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
In 1875, the Jamaican government passed the Wrecking and Salvage Law, directed to protecting the interests of ship owners and insurers and giving adequate redress to persons injured by the wreck. The law passed as a direct result of the wreck of 1874 of the British Iphigenia over the Bordentown Reef, in which residents pillaged the wreck despite no significant damage to the ship. Following an inquiry by the HMS Eclipse 8 days later, local magistrate William B. Webster was castigated and deemed unfit for office after the inquiry determined that he had failed to assist the protection of property and desired to wreck the ship.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The real magic of the Summer Olympics is closer than you think. Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to win a trip of a lifetime to the Olympic Games in Paris this summer. Just grab any 2 8-packs of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at a participating store and you could be jetting off to see the Olympics live and in person. It's an all-inclusive trip for 2. Don't miss out on the action. Find your nearest participating store and enter now. Follow the flame to caymantoparis.com.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Just for birthday shout-outs, and we're sort of keeping that low profile, today. But we do have Terencia Coward Thompson, who's celebrating a birthday today. We also have Gary Cordner celebrating a birthday today, and I believe we have a Giovanni Medina celebrating a birthday today as well. And just again, the term potable water, and I said, well, you take your cue from the fact that pot is a part of it, but let me give you the official source in terms of the origin of the word potable. So it says that potable can also be a noun meaning any drinkable liquid. The word comes from the Latin potare, meaning to drink. Not only did the Romans come up with that word, they built some of the world's first aqueducts, above-ground channels that brought potable from the mountains to the cities as well. So that, again, is the origin of the word potable. But when you hear it, here in the Cayman Islands, in relation especially to the approaching hurricane, it is water that is drinkable or that you can cook with as well. So we did say that we were going to have someone from the National Weather Service in the studio with us. He's here, I shouldn't say on time, but early as usual. And we're going to take the opportunity that we have for this time before our 8 o'clock news to get an update, a weather update from Mr. Miller. So, Mr. Miller, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record. Great to have you.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
So this morning at 7 o'clock, Hurricane Beryl was at 16.9 north, 75.3 degrees west, about 430 miles east-southeast of Grand Cayman, and about 125 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. Currently moving at west-northwest at 20 miles an hour. With a maximum sustained winds 145 miles an hour. So that is still a Category 4 storm.
Now, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
The speed looks like it's down from, at one point it was at 22 miles an hour,
yes,
now
sir.
Down to 20 miles an hour.
Yes, sir.
When it decreases in speed, how does that affect the direction that it may take?
It could decrease in speed for a couple of reasons, and one is land interaction, and the other one is either weakening or going through an eye wall change is what they call it. Currently, we think it's going through weakening, through friction with the land interaction between Hispaniola and Jamaica.
Okay.
And that's one of the three main reasons that the direction can change. We see in the latest National Hurricane Track forecast that it took a little dip to the south, which is good for us. But we still don't want to drop down our preparedness. We still want to keep this still a very powerful storm.
Yes.
And we want to make sure everybody knows that, keep listening in for the official sources, keep being prepared, keep being ready, and keep looking out for each other.
Okay. And sorry to interrupt you there, but I thought that was important.
That's okay. Yeah, we still expect a further decrease. At which rate we really can't understand right now. We spoke about yesterday about the shear in the upper levels that will weaken the system. And we see that it's having some effect, slower than we would like, of course, but that is the reality of what's going on right now. But it is forecasted to weaken further as it moves to the west.
Okay. One question that we had asked, and they wanted comparison in relation to Hurricane Ivan and the distance that Hurricane Ivan came, whether or not the eye actually came over the Cayman Islands as opposed or compared to Hurricane Beryl and the direction or the distance that it is likely to be from the Cayman Islands if it continues on its current course?
With Ivan, we got a direct hit. I mean, we saw the calming winds in the eye of the storm and everything. People came out of their homes, so
Yes.
we got a direct hit from that. Currently, I think that the eye wall of Beryl is about 30 nautical miles from the center. So the maximum hurricane force winds is around from the center to 30 miles out.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, and I don't want to give out false information, but the last time I've checked on it, we were like 41 miles away from it.
Okay.
So we do expect strong winds. We do expect, strong northeasterly winds, rough seas, flooding, all of the stuff that accompanies a storm of this magnitude. So again, preparedness is key. In terms of Ivan, that was a very significant storm, as we know, in the Cayman Islands history. And we hope and pray that this does not get to that. And it seems to be on a weakening trend, and we hope and pray and continue that goes forward.
Okay. I had a question, and it just went right over my head in relation to what we're talking about. But yes, so as far as Hurricane Ivan, was concerned, you say that we had a direct hit.
Yes, sir.
The center of the storm actually went over us, and we saw that period, of calm as well.
Definitely. I remember coming out of my house in the eye and just looking around the neighborhood and going right back inside. So making sure that everything was okay on the outside of the home, but and the winds switch around 180.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very powerful thing to behold, but we hope and pray that Beryl keeps on her southern part of us, our southern path, and away from us, so that we'll better off in this scenario.
Now, when if it's coming from the northeast, the winds are coming from the northeast, what part of the island is likely to be more affected, by it? And can you also speak a little bit? We may have to do this when we return. Yeah, when we return, we want to talk, a little bit about storm surge, and everything, and the direction that a hurricane rotates, as opposed to in the southern hemisphere, it rotates different from in the northern hemisphere. And if you could talk about that as well. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour of the 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Your Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
Storm smart with Foster's this hurricane season. Always keep first aid supplies within reach. Ensure your first aid kit is fully stocked with bandages and antiseptics, and that you have all your necessary prescriptions. From minor cuts to serious injuries, first aid kits aren't skippable. They're lifelines. Don't underestimate the power of readiness. Go to fosters.ky/emergency checklist for more information. Be safe and get hurricane ready with Foster's to stay ahead of the storm.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida says Hurricane Beryl is expected to bring conditions to Jamaica by midday today, with life-threatening winds and storm surge expected to approach Cayman tonight and into Thursday. As of the latest bulletin, the Category 4 storm was located at 16.9 degrees north, 75.3 degrees west. It's about 430 miles east-southeast of Grand Cayman. Max winds are 145 miles per hour. It's moving at the west-northwest at about 20 miles per hour. National Weather Service forecaster Gilbert Miller.
You can expect overcast skies with widespread thunderstorms starting Wednesday night. Tropical storm conditions are expected by early Thursday morning as Hurricane Beryl makes its closest approach to the Cayman Islands and begin to subside by early afternoon tomorrow.
Widespread flooding is anticipated, with the risk reducing by evening as Hurricane Beryl moves away from Cayman. Rough seas, significant swells, and storm surge is expected to peak around Thursday morning and start to roll off by Thursday evening. Based on the latest track, the onset of tropical storm force winds are expected at 9:30 p.m. in Cayman Brac, 10 p.m. in Little Cayman, and just after midnight on Grand Cayman. The closest point of approach for Grand Cayman will see the center passing about 69 miles south at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow. A flood warning will be in effect for the Cayman Islands. Between a half an inch and 0.7 inches of rain are expected today. Tomorrow, between 2 and 4 inches, and Friday, another 0.2 to 0.4 inches of rain. A marine warning is in effect for all 3 Cayman Islands. Government is opening emergency shelters in stages across Grand Cayman and the Sister Islands today, starting at 9 a.m. Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands, Denny Coleman.
There will be one shelter per district opening by 9 a.m. this morning, and the others will be open by noon today. This will be across Grand Cayman and the Sister Islands.
So those opening at 9 include Sir John A. Cumber Primary School Hall in West Bay, pet-friendly John Gray High School Gymnasium, the Red Cross on Holda Avenue, Dale and McCoy Primary, Clifton Hunter High School Gymnasium, that's also pet-friendly, and the William Allen McLaughlin Civic Center in East End. The Aston Ruddy Center will open at 9 a.m. in Cayman Brac. The remaining shelters will open at noon, and you can find the full list of Cayman's hurricane shelters online at caymanprepared.gov.ky. There is a live press briefing scheduled to take place today with top officials who will update the country with regards to all of the preparedness and plans with Hurricane Beryl heading this way. Radio Cayman will be carrying that live. Again, it's at 2 p.m. today, so make sure to keep it locked. The Health Services Authority announces closures ahead of the anticipated impact of Hurricane Beryl. Radio Cayman's Jevy Ebanks brings us this report.
The Cayman Islands Health Services Authority will close all outpatient clinics, including district health centers, urgent care, therapy service, mental health, phlebotomy, radiology, dental, and eye clinics across all 3 islands from 12 p.m. through Thursday, July the 4th. Smith Road Pharmacy and the main hospital pharmacy will close at 2 p.m. Information desk and medical records will also close at 2 p.m. Elective surgeries have been cancelled and affected patients will receive direct communications for rescheduling. HSA will provide updates on service resumptions pending an all clear from Hazard Management Cayman Islands. Accident and emergency services will continue operating 24/7, but individuals are advised to stay home unless facing a true medical emergency. During tropical force winds, 911 emergency calls will be assessed individually. EMS vehicles will not operate during tropical force winds due to safety concerns. In the Sister Islands, the Faith Hospital outpatient clinics will close at 12 p.m. Faith Hospital Pharmacy will close at 2 p.m. Accident and emergency at Faith Hospital will temporarily relocate to the Aston Rutty Medical Wing from 1 p.m. Little Cayman Health Center can be reached at 345-916-5395 in case of emergency. HSA facilities are not general hurricane shelters for the public, and the public is advised to seek alternative shelter if needed. Jevy Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
And with all this storm talk, it's easy to let anxiety build. Minister for Health and Wellness, the Honorable Sabrina Turner, says that's totally normal and folks are standing by to help.
For those of you who may be feeling anxious ahead of the storm, please know that support is available. You can contact K-Mind at 1-800-534-6463.
The Ministry of Tourism is working with its partners at the Airports Authority and airlines servicing Cayman to help folks make changes to existing flights or head off the island before the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Tourism Minister, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan.
I can also advise that Cayman Airways has made significant adjustments to its flight operations to assist with the evacuation of residents and visitors as needed.
The remaining evacuation flights on Cayman Airways are scheduled for 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 12:10 p.m. this afternoon. You can check the evacuation flight availability at CaymanAirways.com.
In times like these, it is essential that we come together as one united community. Please, I urge you, check on your neighbors, offer assistance where you can, and share information from official sources to ensure that everyone is informed and prepared.
The Ministry and Departments of Tourism say they'll continue to provide updates on their social media channels, as well as right here on Radio Cayman. I'm Karsley Fuller.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Water Authority Cayman would like to advise that due to Hurricane Beryl, its Grand Cayman and Customer Service Office in Cayman Brac will be closed to the public to further facilitate storm preparations. The authority will confirm when its office will reopen. The authority would like to remind its customers to ensure they have sufficient water stored for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Depending on the forecasted path and predicted severity of the storm, it may be necessary for the authority to temporarily interrupt water service in order to protect the storage reserves for restoration. Should this action be necessary, the authority will give as much notice as possible once such a decision has been made. Please continue to follow official channels, listen to your radio station, or visit their website and or social media accounts for further updates.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment is to ensure our islands consider responsible use of our natural resources while preserving our native species and habitats for future generations. Learn more at conservation.ky.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
So the Cayman Islands government has issued a hurricane warning for Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. Hurricane Beryl's present location, 16.9 north, 75.3 west, about 125 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, and about 430 miles east-southeast of Grand Cayman. Maximum sustained winds are at 145 miles per hour. Present movement in west-northwest at 20 miles per hour, with the minimum central pressure at 952 millibars or 28.11 inches. Based on the onset of tropical storm force winds, Cayman Brac will experience it at 9:30 p.m. tonight, Little Cayman at 10 p.m. tonight, and Grand Cayman at 12:30 tomorrow. Closest point of approach for Grand Cayman, the center will pass 69 miles south at approximately 4:30 tomorrow morning. Little Cayman, the center will pass 112 miles south at approximately 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, and Cayman Brac, the center will pass 117 miles south at approximately midnight on Thursday. The end of the tropical storm force winds for Cayman Brac will be at 5 a.m., Little Cayman 6 a.m. tomorrow, and Grand Cayman at 11 a.m. If the storm continues on its latest forecast track, Grand Cayman will experience overcast skies with widespread thunderstorms, which are anticipated starting Wednesday night. Tropical storm conditions are expected by early Thursday morning as Hurricane Beryl makes its closest approach to the Cayman Islands and begin to subside by early tomorrow afternoon. Widespread flooding is anticipated, with the risk reducing by evening as Hurricane Beryl moves away from the Cayman area. Extremely rough seas, significant swells, and some storm surges expected to peak around Thursday morning and begin to subside by Thursday evening. Rough seas are still expected through Friday. For Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, similar conditions of overcast skies and widespread thunderstorms are expected from Wednesday evening through Thursday evening. Tropical storm conditions are expected from late Wednesday night and should begin to subside by Thursday morning. Some flooding is anticipated, with the the risk reducing from Thursday evening. Extremely rough seas, significant swells, and some storm surges expected to peak around early Thursday morning and begin to subside by Thursday afternoon. Rough seas are expected. And of course, letting you know of the gusty winds conditions expected for Grand Cayman tonight. Winds out of the northeast at 20 to 25 knots. Thursday morning, east to southeast at 40 to 50 knots with gusts 60 miles and higher. Friday morning, southeast 10 to 15 knots for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Wednesday night, coming out of the northeast, 20 to 25 knots. Thursday morning, east to southeast, 35 to 40 knots with 50 miles per hour higher gusts. Friday morning, southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Marine warning is in effect for the Cayman Islands. All marine vessels are advised to seek and remain in safe harbor until further notice. Wednesday, July 3rd, waves reaching 6 to 9 feet by evening. Thursday, waves of 10 to 15 feet, accompanied by a storm surge of 2 to 4 feet, particularly along the south coasts. Friday, waves of 5 to 7 feet with swells mainly along the south coasts. Keep it right here on Radio Cayman for your latest weather updates for the movement of Hurricane Beryl. Of course, brought to you by our good friends at CG Britcay.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Once again, good morning, my friends. Let's see how the traffic situation is. Traffic coming out of the eastern districts moving smoothly. Looking at the east-west arterial, not much traffic there. And of course, traffic at the Red Bay roundabout starts to slowly merge in, getting into your respective lanes as you continue on to the Linford Pearson and on Crew Road. But once getting closer to the Georgetown area, expect the usual traffic buildup along Crew Road, some on the Linford Pearson, and of course coming off Bobby Thompson Way to the four-way stop. And of course, continuing on Halder Avenue, seeing some slow-moving traffic as you get to the CNB roundabouts with merging traffic coming from the other directions. Streets in Georgetown seeing its fair share of traffic as you make your way in. Edward Street as you continue around the construction. Shedden Road light traffic, Eastern Avenue taking in some of that traffic as well. Godfrey Nixon Way and getting to the Butterfield roundabouts. Expect the usual traffic in that area. The camera is a bit spotty in terms of checking out what's going on there, but expect the usual traffic in that area. Of course, if you're heading towards the airport to catch a flight, you got light traffic. Now we got to the Butterfield roundabout. Of course, northward bound traffic heading towards the Butterfield roundabout. Light traffic coming off the S.L. Tibbetts. Some traffic coming off Godfrey Nixon Way and, of course, North Sound Road. Experiencing light traffic this time of the morning. Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, you guys good? Light traffic. Once again, we urge you to stay safe. Be careful out there and enjoy your commutes. That's your latest traffic report.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
As part of a man's natural circadian rhythm, testosterone levels rise during sleep. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation can cause a significant decrease in testosterone production. If that was not bad enough, it can also affect brain function, memory, and mood. Many factors can cause poor sleep, including conditions like sleep apnea. Making responsible nighttime decisions, including removing screen time, late night eating, minimizing alcohol, and speaking with a physician can improve your sleep schedule.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It's my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Gilbert Miller from the National Weather Service. Before I throw the mic back over to him, just want to share something with you coming from the Passport and Corporate Services Office. So for today, Wednesday, the 3rd of July 2024, they're opening at 8:30 a.m. and they're closing at 12 p.m. And we understand that some persons are really being proactive and they may already be there at the passport office. And it reads, due to Hurricane Beryl, our offices will have limited opening hours and services. Limited services are for U.S. visa waiver and temporary passports. They apologize for any inconvenience caused to their valued customers, and you should stay tuned to government bulletins for further updates as well. Also remind you, it is understood that yesterday, for instance, they issued something like about 105 waivers yesterday. Some people may be of the impression, and I can understand why, because I saw one social media post saying they're issuing visa waivers in the passport office. They're doing them, right away. You should go there. But people weren't alerted to the fact that the requirements were still in place. For instance, that you are required to produce a police clearance certificate with it. With your application for a waiver. A police clearance certificate is required for any individual who is 13 years of age and over as well. And folks, we should not confuse the Cayman Islands waiver that you're eligible for if you have a passport that says Cayman Islands, not the British passport. Cayman Islands, you're eligible for a waiver. But of course, you must have a clean police clearance certificate as well. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to enter the U.S. The waiver issued by the passport office is for one entry into the United States, meaning if you're going into the United States and you're going out of the United States to somewhere else, that somewhere else, when you're returning from that somewhere else going back into the U.S., you can't use that waiver again. It is good for one entry only, traveling directly from the Cayman Islands. The other visa waiver program that you may be eligible for if you have a British passport, that ESTA, you apply for that online, and they say within 72 hours you get a response. Responses usually come much quicker than that as well. So the passport office will be open from 8:30 a.m. and they will be closing at 12 noon. If you're applying for a waiver, you need to have that police clearance certificate. If you are age 13 and over, that must accompany your waiver application as well. With that, we're going to throw it back over to Mr. Miller because we do have the governor and the premier coming in at 8:30, and we wanted you to get into the science, of weather and hurricanes, as well, and what implications it may have for different parts of the Cayman Islands depending on where the hurricane passes closest or farthest from us.
Sure. That would be all dependent on size of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, with northeast winds, It'll influence the northern coast of all three islands, but surge in terms of wave coming from this, emanating from the center of the storm. Because it's passing to the south of us, a lot of the storm surge will be pushed on shore on the southern coast of the island. So it's to a greater degree because of our size again, all coasts will probably be affected by this. And in terms of the Coriolis effect, which is caused the counterclockwise spinning and the clockwise spinning in the southern hemisphere, that is something.
Let's call it Coriolis?
Coriolis effect.
Okay, I have to research that.
So the further from the equator you go, the science is theoretically at the equator, the Coriolis effect is 0. So the further from the equator you go, the higher the effect of the Coriolis is. So that's why storms, after they pass, I think it's 5 degrees north, they have a greater inclination to spin.
Okay.
And the higher north you go, the greater the spin. It also has a lot to do with the land-sea influences across the southern and northern hemispheres. The southern hemisphere is just a reflection of the north, but in the opposite direction.
Okay. What about this? The theory that when a system enters a country that is mountainous, the effect that it is likely to have on it as well, because we always hear people talk about, well, if it goes through Jamaica and makes a direct hit on Jamaica, then the likelihood is that it may weaken and it may break up as well.
Unfortunately, that is true, and that is friction. The hurricanes and everything in the atmosphere actually is governed by something called fluid dynamics. So, and friction is a part of that. So even hurricanes going over mountainous regions or hilly regions would play an effect, weaken it to a certain degree. Unfortunately, we're just placed, I don't want to say in a beneficial, but we're protected on 3 sides, usually the Cuba, Jamaica, and the Yucatan Peninsula. Our greatest threat would be from the south if the storm was to turn a sharp turn at this point, but which is not likely. But that's where we are most vulnerable on the southern coast. But unfortunately, for us to benefit, one of our brothers and sisters across the Caribbean would have to be affected. And unfortunately, today that is Jamaica.
Okay. Any advice that you would want to give to our listening and viewing audience? And also, we saw that in Barbados and Grenada, it seems as if there may have been a high storm surge. What are the predictions going forward?
Yes, that is a significant fear. Again, the storm surge was at the eye of the storm, the highest storm surge, and the predictions are for us currently. I think it's 3 to 5 feet above normal tide, normal waves, and the waves are expected to be around 9 to 12 feet.
Okay.
So we are expecting significant rain action along the coast, and we want everybody to be prepared for that. Came Unprepared, a great website that you can go and find a lot of information about a lot of different aspects of getting ready, where to go, what to pack, different numbers to reach out to. So, and I want to take my hat off to a lot of people. I've been on the road this morning, and people are being kind to each other. They're helping. They're being patient. They're waiting in line. They're doing what they're supposed to. They're not panicking. And hats off to Cayman for following and getting prepared early.
Great. You almost misspoke just now when you said rain. What has the rainfall been looking like?
There is 4 to 6 inches is the average, and there are going to be higher localized values depending on how heavy the rainfall is over your area. I've seen figures of as high as 10 inches in some areas, based on the models, that is. But we are still evaluating and analyzing, and we'll get out that information as soon as we finish and have the most accurate, up-to-date information.
How are the tide likely to impact the effect of the storm?
Sure, that plays a huge part. If a system comes in high tide, it'll raise the tides or the seas even more, and we want people to be prepared for that also. We have higher than normal tides currently, and we need people to understand that will play a significant role in the seas and waves along the coast and inlands even of the islands.
Excellent. And as far as you and your family are concerned, everything is in place. I'm sure, being in the business that you're in, you're always prepared.
Yes, we try to do it early every year. This year we got a little bit of a late start, but we are fully prepared. One of our habits that we try to do is get everything bought in pieces throughout the year, and by June have everything ready. And at the end of hurricane season, we either donate or we use what we have in our hurricane season, and that way we could pay it forward to the people that are more in need in our community.
Excellent. And off air, I was mentioning to you, and you spoke about people out there being kind to each other, respecting each other. And I was talking to someone yesterday in their particular company. They actually have people on the ground here to look out for their welfare in the event that anything happens, search and rescue, whatever, that they're prepared to assist their employees here in the Cayman Islands as well. And, we don't hear a lot about it because we don't hear a lot from the private sector in terms of what they're doing, but many of them, especially those good corporate citizens, are really looking out for their employees as well, and that is good to know.
Yeah. Just for some clarification, I just went through the severe weather statement that was issued by my colleague Carrie Power this morning.
Okay.
So for tomorrow, rainfall approximately 2 to 4 inches with a potential for localized rainfall of 6 inches.
Okay.
So bear that in mind for everybody. And to your point, we are running higher than normal tides. And we want people to be aware that those all play a factor in how much rainfall and flooding of low-lying areas we have around the islands.
Okay, Mr. Miller, again, we know that your department is very busy and you're a very busy man as well, but we want to thank you for, for coming in, with us this morning, keeping us informed. For folks, we're going to take a commercial break now. When we return, we will have the Governor, Her Excellency, Mrs. Jane Owen, and the Premier, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, in the studio with us, hopefully. If they're not here yet, they are plans for them to be here as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Tired of feeling exhausted, no matter how much sleep you get? It could be sleep apnea, a condition affecting millions of people that often goes undiagnosed. At Total Health, we believe in the power of preventative care. That's why we're offering at-home Level 2 sleep studies, convenient, comfortable, and conducted in the privacy of your own home. Untreated, sleep apnea can lead to serious health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Our comprehensive approach means you get personalized care from start to finish. Wake up to a healthier tomorrow with Total Health. Contact us today at 333-2222 or visit totalhealth.ky to schedule your at-home Level 2 sleep study. Because a good night's sleep is just the beginning. Total Health, your partner in preventative care.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now Mrs. Jane Owen, the Governor of the Cayman Islands. Governor, good morning. We're hearing very good news, about what's happening in the Cayman Islands in terms of preparedness. And that was also evident this morning on our roads in terms of the amount of traffic that is out there, because many businesses, including government, have taken the proactive step of giving people off today so that, everyone is not clamoring out there. And we just had Mr. Gilbert Miller in, and he was saying, he's seen people on the road, they're so much more courteous when they're on the line and everything. So that is great news as well. So good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Thank you very much, OC, and good morning to everybody who's listening in. Hope everybody is continuing to stay safe and get prepared. I continue to be very struck here in Cayman across all our three islands that not only is everyone very resilient, but they're also resourceful, which is important for our flexibility. So I feel that people are being resourceful in terms of their planning and thinking how to respond, and then caring. So I think we've got resilience, we've got resourcefulness, and we've got a huge ton of caring that is going on in our community, and that puts us in a very strong position. I'd also like to say we've been thinking and talking quite a bit to people in the region who've been experiencing the hurricane along its way. Mm-hmm. I was just off the phone with some colleagues in Jamaica who are, of course, in the eye of the storm at the moment. So our thoughts go out to all of them, and there's really good regional conversations going on, led largely by Premier, who I know is going to join us shortly. I know she's extremely busy this morning as well. But she was talking to a number of leaders in the region yesterday, which was a very good thing to see.
Yes. And, if we are fortunate and if we are lucky, then I would imagine we would be then extending our assistance to those countries that have already been impacted, by the hurricane as well. What I find that is sort of unfortunate that at least, when you're looking on commercial sources, that you can't get a whole lot of information in terms of what has transpired in some of those countries. We hear that, 3, maybe 4 deaths, but I'm sure at an official level, you would then know of what their requirements, what their needs are, after the hurricane as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think those assessments are just going on. I was just one of the people on the phone just recently in the last hour was our High Commissioner in Barbados. I know Premier is also talking to the government over there and talking about some of the islands in that region. It is very sad that there have been a number of deaths, but I think the preparation over there has also helped to prevent more, but particularly on some smaller islands, there's a high degree of devastation. So we will be looking at how we can help to support that. And indeed, today, when we have our executive meeting, we will also be focusing on what we need to prepare for the recovery phase, because of course the minute we are facing what will essentially be tomorrow morning, probably late tomorrow morning, people will have to go out and assess the damage. So that's an important thing for our listeners and all of us to think about, is that we're not going to immediately be running out outside, because we need to check about the electricity poles, the safety, all of that. But we are, the government will be on the case with the emergency services and others to make sure we can do that as quickly as possible. And then we will move into the phase post-hurricane, which will also require a huge response, I expect.
Now, Governor, we saw in Jamaica where the Prime Minister there, Mr. Holness, has declared the entire island under a state of emergency, and that is to go through for a week. They have already imposed curfews as well. I'm wondering whether or not you would want to talk about the authority that you have in relation to emergency, declaring states of emergency, and along with the Premier as well. I know when Hurricane Ivan 20 years ago, we sort of like had to be figuring things out, as we went. And there was some sidelining at one point of the elected arm and the government arm, and that was quickly resolved. But I'm sure that we're past that now.
Yeah, I think we're well past that. I certainly would have I think all of our preparations are intended to ensure, and Honourable Premier has just walked into the room, that Honourable Premier and I will be working very closely together, along with all of her esteemed cabinet members who I know are out there talking to constituents. I know there's been some commentary about, exactly what our elected members are doing, but I can tell you, I know they've just spent so many hours out there in the community, and I know they are focusing on those who most need support. So we will intend to work together to respond to whatever comes our way. And in a way, for us, that is our state of emergency. As far as I'm concerned, we're in a joint partnership state of emergency, and that is why we are regularly meeting and finding solutions to whatever comes our way. Good morning, Honourable Premier. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Premier. I know that you would want to offer prayer as usual, so I want to give you an opportunity for that, and we'll get your headphones sorted out as well.
Thank you very much, OC, and good morning. Good morning, Governor. And good morning, Wider Cayman. I apologize for being late, but I was on a phone call with Prime Minister Holness of Jamaica, who are friends and neighbours, and of course the Jamaican diaspora sprinkles throughout all three Cayman Islands. And we wanted to give him the assurances, and I'll go into that a bit after I pray. So if we could pray. Father God, we come to you yet again this morning. You are a God that we serve, who grow not weary of our petitions. Lord, as you've been over the balconies of heaven this morning, we just want to pause to thank you. Your word says to be still and know that God is God. And we've tested you, we've tried you, we've proven you time and time again. This is not the first time that Cayman is facing a challenge, Lord, whether it's from a natural challenge, financial challenge, or otherwise, Lord. But we come knowing that you are still the master of the storm. And in fact, one of the favorite songs that Radio Cayman play whenever we go through these type of situations is Till the Storm Passes By. And Lord, so this morning we want to remind ourselves, we want to encourage ourselves in the Lord, as David the psalmist said, that yes, it is a storm, but the operative word, it will pass by, and we will come out on the other side with your help and your guidance. We pray that throughout whatever comes our way, Lord, that through it all we learn to trust you. The songwriter says, if I didn't have a problem, I wouldn't know that my God can solve them. And Lord, you solve many, many problems. Lord, we want to thank you that you raised up the government in your own time. And so we're called for such a time as this. Lord, thank you for the governor that you've given us for such a time as this, and for the unity there is, not just with ourselves, but the civil service, all of the elected arms of the government. Lord, we pray as we have sent them out to every single constituency, Lord, I pray that they may be agents of change for unity and love and togetherness that this country has been known for. But over the years, the months have strayed from. Lord, we know as a result of Ivan, when that came, we saw the difference where black, white, rich, poor, spot bear, west bear, north side of Georgia, it mattered not, it mattered that we were a human being. Bring that unity back to our country, because united we stand, but divided we fall. So in the mighty name of Jesus, I pray that the entire inhabitants of this jurisdiction would feel your divine presence and know that we're safe in the arm of Jesus. It's where once again we pray for our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean as they're trying to recoup the great losses that they are. We pray for our brothers and sisters in Jamaica, oh Lord, as they're expecting a direct hit. Lord, you know that you can change the situation, but as the Hebrews boys, if you see fit to put our country through the fire, the tempest, the floods, as it were, you are still the fourth person in the fire, and we stand with you, knowing that with God all things are possible. We leave these matters in your hands, and we will do as you lead us to do. It may bring favor with you, for we ask it in Jesus' name this morning with thanksgiving as we wait upon you to deliver. Amen.
Thank you very much, Premier, for that very moving prayer as well. And we'll keep the mic with you.
We just wanted to take this opportunity, Governor and I, to come in, OC, once again to my favourite radio station in entire Cayman Islands. I will not get tired of saying that. I know a lot of my constituents are listening to it. There are comps officers. I want to, right up front, give kudos to them. Sure. And I got the good news that there were over 1,000 people listening when the entire government was on to Radio Cayman. Yes, we have proven it. I had no fear or intrepidation that Radio Cayman can be the voice of the Cayman Islands, and I expect going forward that we'll see more and more of that. OC, this morning I come to the people to offer prayer. As such as I have, I give unto thee. And where I can't reach, I would like, as I finish obviously with my driver, to drive through all of the constituents before and after. I had the opportunity to come back in a wee bit early from Sister Islands yesterday after we had prepared them. And because the helicopter gives you enough vision, I took tons and tons of pictures of Grand Cayman. I just felt moved to do it, to see how we are today and what would be in the next few days. It also showed where was inundated with waters from the recent floods, so it'll be better for us to go out and really be project oriented when it goes over. I am confident, OC, that we in this country, Governor and I, under the leading of Almighty God, and because wisdom comes from Him, that we have prepared this country as best as it has ever been. We have learned from Ivan, we've learned from even as far back 1980 in Hurricane Allen. And even as I was driving here this morning, I was so elated to see that even at this hour, there were 3 or 4 men just across from us putting up shutters. And that is the one message I want to reiterate this morning. There may be still a few single parents, especially some elderly or special needs. If you have yours up, please walk around your neighborhood. If you need to carry ID, because that's the time that we're living in, be genuine and extending that neighborly hand. There's still a couple out there that need some plywood, and I talked directly to the suppliers this morning. The government has been good. This is the best sale you've had this month. You're getting ready to close down. If you still have plywood, you know the neighborhoods as well as we do. If not, you know the politicians as well as we do. I don't care which one you call up. Donate some, because just as I was coming here, there was an elderly Caymanian lady. She got 4 sheets, and that's the maximum. Some got 3. But obviously she has more windows, and she's an elderly woman. And I wouldn't call her name online, but if you want to find out, donate, call me once I get off. And get out there and make sure that we have done everything that we can do to get this country prepared. And my final beg and plea is that we have civil servants and public officers who's going to be on the front line, risking their lives come what may, even if it's just a rain event, which I don't think is going to be. Cook before electricity go off some hot food, get some cup of soups, get something, so that before the place and order goes for 6 o'clock this evening, call them up. The fire trucks can usually be out there longer. Give them something to let them know that you appreciate them. And Radio Cayman never goes home. I remember, Ivan, you guys were here when you were being pounded to death. If you're in the vicinity and you're not risking your life, or if the emergency do, get something to let them know. Don't come out during a storm, but once the storm is finished, I expect to see Radio Cayman and all of governors, civil servants, and our people as politicians, give them a fruit basket, give them a good coconut dinner, give them just a card to appreciate. This island was built on love. And it's still, 2 Corinthians 13 says that love covers a multitude of things. As a nation, we have strayed far, 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 cultural and otherwise. This is our chance and our opportunity to stand up and be exemplary and let the world know that we still serve a God. We're not ashamed of him. By now you must know I'm not ashamed of him, because he still owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. He is the infinite supplier. And when we can't get the governor, which is, for me, never, or she can't get me, we can call on God. Our prayers have that innate capacity to go in every crevice and every corner, and where angels dare not tread, let our prayers go out beyond the walls of the Cayman Islands. For this particular time, Jamaica.
Yes. We're going to take a commercial break, Governor and Premier. When we return, Governor, we want to talk a little bit more, about your role as the King's representative and from the UK's perspective. We know on Monday you spoke about it and all of the preparedness that has been taking place, the assets that they have in the Caribbean as well, and we'd like to hear some more from you about that as well. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it.
Your dream home
Sign
starts
up,
with a
it's
vision,
free.
and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Water Authority Cayman would like to advise that due to Hurricane Beryl, its Grand Cayman and Customer Service Office in Cayman Brac office will be closed to the public to further facilitate storm preparations. The authority will confirm when its office will reopen. The authority would like to remind its customers to ensure they have sufficient water stored for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Depending on the forecasted path and predicted severity of the storm, it may be necessary for the authority to temporarily interrupt water service in order to protect the storage reserves for restoration. Should this action be necessary, the authority will give as much notice as possible once such a decision has been made. Please continue to follow official channels, listen to your radio, or visit our website and our social media accounts for further updates.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, Premier of the Cayman Islands, and Her Excellency Mrs. Jane Owen, the Governor of the Cayman Islands. Before I throw the mic over to the Governor, we have Mr. Joey Ebanks, who is listening and said, "Morning, OC. I'm on the highway here in Pennsylvania and listening to you as if I was on Eastern Avenue." He says, "I'm praying for everyone on the island as the hurricane approaches," as well. So we want to thank Mr. Joey Ebanks for that as well. Governor, your role and the UK's as the Cayman Islands as an overseas territory, how they are responsible for us, especially during this period.
Yes, thank you very much, OC. So I think one of my key roles is to work just very closely with Honourable Premier and the whole of government, and to be part of that executive which is taking the key decisions. And we have another meeting at lunchtime today. So we're meeting regularly, and there's a huge amount of activity and decisions and preparation that is feeding into that. So we have a good system, and I'm very pleased to be part of that. The UK is obviously taking a really close interest. I mean, they're interested across the whole region. They've been giving what support they can, also to a lot of the other territories, and that's why we were all with London on the Teams meeting with Jamaica this morning as well. So we're all working close together. But as an overseas territory, obviously Cayman has a special place in our hearts. I know His Majesty the King, as I said the other day, is watching this very closely and sending us all the support and love from his side. And from the side of the British government, we have the strength and weight of our consular and crisis preparedness teams. So what does that mean in practical terms? Well, as you know, we do have a ship in the region. It was berthed in Puerto Rico. It has set sail. It's going to go north of Jamaica to avoid the storm, but it means it will get here quite quickly. I'm expecting it to get here on Saturday. So, if Honourable Premier and I and the government decide that that's a good idea, we will have some support for that ship. It has things like water purification. It has some expert engineers. I think it would be a useful boost to whatever efforts we may need to clear things here. So let's see how it goes. But that's going to be a resource that's available. And then more widely in London, they do have kind of emergency response teams, which tend to be quite small teams of 4, 6, 8, 12 people. A couple of them are based in Miami, so they don't all have to come all the way over from the UK, but they do stand ready. We haven't called on them yet, because what we want to do, I think, is to figure out what we need and have that flexibility. And then once we know what we need, we can bring them over fairly quickly, because I would hope the clearing the airport will, of course, be a big priority to make sure we can get flights in again quickly. And that means we can bring these people in. So, the UK is absolutely ready to support as needed.
Excellent. Premier?
I think I want to take this time now, OC, to talk about how we're urging the public to stay in place at 6 p.m. tonight. Let me repeat that. We're asking the public to stay in place, which is different from a curfew, obviously, at 6 p.m. and stay there until the official all clear is given. Hurricane Beryl approaches and indeed passes our jurisdiction. Currently, there are no plans to officially restrict the movement from a statutory or legislative perspective, as we believe that our public is sensible enough, if I can use such a strong word, to stay off.
And responsible enough, yes.
And responsible enough, thank you for the interjection. So it will allow the clearance of the road for emergency vehicles to get up and down, or utility vehicles, whatever the case may be, if and when it's safe to do so. And there are a number of shelters that are going to be open from the sister islands, the Ashton Reddy Centre, the Multipurpose Hall, and the West End Primary School are the 3 shelters on Kimmonbrat. And we've got an agreement that they will all open at 9 a.m. this morning. The one in Little Cayman will open at 3 p.m. this afternoon. The reason for a different of time in Little Cayman is because the last flight out of Little Cayman and the closure of the airport Little Cayman is at 3 p.m. And we have one district officer, limited staff. And so once he oversees the security and the safety of the last departure, the shelter in Little Cayman will open. I can say that all of the guests on Kimmonbrat and Little Cayman are booked who want to depart on the flight today. So we've taken care of that, which takes some of the pressure off of the capacity in the sister islands. Also, today at 9 a.m., Sir John A. Cumber Primary School Hall in West Bay. John Gray High School Gymnasium is pet friendly, means you can take your pet, but be responsible. Cayman Islands Red Cross at Huldah Avenue, Georgetown. Theoline McCoy Primary School in Bordentown. Clifton Hunter High School Gymnasium, also pet friendly. William Allen McLaughlin Civic Centre in the district of East End. I've already dealt with the sister island ones. At 12 noon, West Bay, John A. Cumber Primary School, partially classrooms, John Gray Memorial Church, we thank the church for that, Georgetown, S. Marie Martin Primary School, otherwise known as the Georgetown Primary School, the John Gray High School, that's the new building, the Universal College of the Cayman Islands Hall, and Prospect Primary School. Some of these will have more medical facilities and personnel there, but there are provisions in place. If you contact either your constituency office or directly to Danny Hazard Management, they can give you more information, or to our COMPS officers. In the Eastern Districts, we also have the Joanna Clark Primary School Hall, Savannah. They will have medical personnel there for sure. Elliott Connolly Civic Centre in Gun Bay Community Hall, Breakers Community Hall, and Cradock Ebanks Civic Centre also will have the full suite of the medical wing that's there. So you can see that we are being precautionary. We're opening a wee bit earlier than would have been expected, but we want to have our streets cleared. And there are also a number of notices that will be going out during the course of the day when supermarkets are going to be closed. As far as it relates to the sister islands, I'll take time for that because obviously I'm not on the ground, so I have to let them know. Colonel Supermarket plans to close at 3 p.m. Tibbetts Enterprises at 4:30 p.m. today. L&M, Billy's Supermarket, Marketplace, and Bluffview will close at 5 p.m. today. So if you haven't yet stocked up, and you should be, make sure you get the last minute items and head to the shelter or hunker down in your own premises, especially if you're up on the bluff.
And that stay in place after 6 o'clock, that is so important, because if we end up with real dangerous weather, emergency services cannot go out to rescue anyone at that point in time, because they're putting their safety, at risk as well. And I recall during Hurricane Ivan, a very close, friend of mine, and their residence wasn't that far from the airport, but their parents' roof had been blown off.
I remember.
And they were basically, out in the open with no roof, and tears came to my eyes, but there was no way that the fire service could go out at that point in time. So it is so extremely, extremely important.
Can I just add quickly, Osi, I forgot to add the Clifton Hunter High School. The performance arts will be open, and they will also have medical staff on hand there as well.
Okay. Do you want to talk about, or I can do this later on, some of the things, the essential items that they should take with them to sustain them for
this is a partnership, so days. Together we'll delegate that piece for you.
I'll do that later on, because we want you to be able to get your messages out. We're going to go quickly to our headline news, and when we return, we're going to pass the mic back over to the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly and Her Excellency the Governor, Mrs. Jane Owen. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Covering Little Cayman Bride.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The latest from the National Hurricane Center shows the eye of Hurricane Beryl near latitude 16.9 degrees north, longitude 75.3 degrees west. The storm is moving west-northwest near 20 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue through today. On the current forecast track, the center will move rapidly across the central Caribbean Sea and is forecast to pass over Jamaica later today, with the center passing near or over Cayman tonight or early Thursday. Max winds are near 145 miles per hour, making it a Category 4 storm. Some weakening is forecast over the next day or so. However, Beryl is forecast to be at or near major hurricane intensity as it passes Cayman tonight or early tomorrow morning. National Weather Service forecaster Gilbert Miller.
We see in the latest National Hurricane Track forecast that it took a little dip to the south, which is good for us, but we still don't want to drop down our preparedness. We still want to keep this still a very powerful storm.
Yes.
And we want to make sure everybody knows that, keep listening in for the official sources, keep being prepared, keep being ready, and keep looking out for each other.
Starting from tonight, you can expect overcast skies with widespread thunderstorms. Tropical storm conditions are expected early tomorrow morning as Beryl makes its closest approach on the forecast track. That's expected to be 9:30 p.m. in Little Cayman, 10 p.m. in Cayman Brac, and at 12:30 a.m. for Grand Cayman. Widespread flooding is anticipated. This morning, the National Emergency Operations Center is due to meet at 10 a.m., and the regiment will be reporting in. Commanding officer for the regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Roger Carter, says with regard to deployment, they usually take a divide-and-conquer approach.
Our general plan is that we recognize that in a hurricane especially, that we might have challenges at the Savannah Gully in terms of water coming straight across the island. So our setup, our deployment setup is based on that. So we keep what we call a squadron on the western side of the gully, and we keep another squadron on the eastern side of the gully to ensure that we could cater for all the people here in the Cayman Islands.
You'll get more information as Radio Cayman brings a live press briefing from government officials at 2 p.m. today. They'll be sharing updates and plans concerning Hurricane Beryl. Do you take medication and need to stock up before the passage of the storm? Please note that the Smith Road Pharmacy and Main Hospital Pharmacy are closing at 2 p.m. today. Health Minister the Honorable Sabrina Turner.
Please ensure that you have at least a 2-week supply. If you need additional supplies, contact the Cayman Islands Hospital at 244-2715. Arrangements will be made for you to collect these medications from the Smith Road Pharmacy. It's critical that your medication is in a watertight container to prevent any loss or damage.
HSA will provide updates regarding the resumption of all services pending an all clear from hazard management following the storm. A&E will still operate 24 hours, but folks are reminded to stay home unless it's a true medical emergency. During tropical force winds, 911 emergency calls are responded to on an individual basis. Treatment should be sought for medical emergencies only, as EMS vehicles do not operate in tropical storm force winds. That's your latest news. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's Urgent Care Clinic is now open 7 days per week to serve you better. Visit our dedicated team at Urgent Care Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you are experiencing non-life-threatening symptoms and conditions such as the cold and flu, sprains and cuts, earaches, nausea and vomiting, visit Urgent Care's walk-in clinic at the main entrance of the Georgetown Hospital, now open every day. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Honorable Juliana Connolly, Premier of the Cayman Islands, and Mrs. Jane Owen, the Governor of the Cayman Islands. Folks, there's nothing more reassuring than when you hear your leaders on the air giving you information, talking to you, instilling confidence in you, applauding you for the efforts that you make to keep yourself, your friends, your family, and your communities safe as well. And we're bringing it right to you right here on Radio Cayman this morning. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic back over to my guest, Governor.
Yes, thank you. I was just talking to Honourable Premier here about all the many efforts we're making on communication, and I do hope that everybody out there feels that you're getting the information you need through various channels. We recognise that that is really, really important. We want to make sure we're communicating with you about all the different aspects of preparation. So just to remind everyone, I hope everyone is aware of the NEOC call centre. This is where you can phone in if you have specific needs or concerns. The number is 949 6555. So that's a very important number for everyone. Emergency services 911, though, as OC said earlier on, it's really important to remember that during the actual storm, our emergency services will not be able to respond. So I would urge everybody to make sure you've made your preparations and that you are in a safe place for the duration of the storm. We've also been thinking about people's mental health. We talk a lot about mental health. This is a time when there is stress and concern, probably some fear and trepidation. So there's a mental health hotline if anyone needs it, which is an 800 number. So it's 1-800-534-6463. I'm sure OC can help to later on
Certainly
sort of make sure we're putting all of these details out there.
Definitely will, Governor.
And then there's channels you can follow for the local weather updates at weather.gov.ky. Hazard management, their website is Cayman Prepared, all one word, caymanprepared.gov.ky. There's a lot of really, really useful information. It's very up to date. It's quite detailed. So if you have got access to the internet and websites on your phone or on a laptop, that is a really, really good one to follow. And of course, we continue to be on social media as well. So that is one of our priorities, is to make sure that over the next few hours and as we go into the night as well, we continue to communicate with you all. And as I said before, after the storm has passed, it will be really, really important to continue to stay in touch with our comms channels, because what we will then aim to do is to let everybody know when it is safe to leave your house. And I would encourage everyone not to dash out, as I'm sure will be a huge thing we all want to do, go out and have a look around, but please make sure that you only do that once it is safe. Thank you.
Premier?
Just also to take this opportunity to say that we plan to hold a press conference at 2 p.m. this afternoon, Governor and I, and we'll certainly will ask those members from government or opposition, for that matter, who wish to be present. I'm not using this as a political thing in any way, and I hope people can see that through it all, so that we can speak to the nation. In particular, I would be asking the Minister of Tourism to give an update with the airlines who's cancelling and how our other national asset, and I'm extremely proud of, Cayman Airways, is being utilised to ensure the safety as a backup insurance for the country. The Minister of Health, I'll also ask her to bring us up to speed as what's been put in place with HSA and from the wellness perspective. And then there will be other ministers present. I'll ask my Deputy Premier to come and speak to the fact that with our most vulnerable, the veteran and seamen, those in NAU, I've been reliably informed of him. The government has consented that their cards have been topped up by $400 to allow them that elasticity to move forward. I can say that the caucus met again yesterday after our meeting that Governor and I chaired, and we took a decision that based on our moving up and down the community, there was still some need there. So my CABSEC and I and FS and my advisor, Darrell Rankin, we worked through the night and early this morning trying to work out that logistics. It seemed like a small ask, but we've decided that we'd do as we did 2 years ago, to go to Foster, and I'd like to thank Woody. And the reason is that they have a supermarket present in pretty much all of the districts. It's easier to access. We won't be getting it done today, but we've been assured by Woody that they'll be up and ready for Friday. And we believe that most people have got the essentials for today, but we're understanding from the MPs who have been on the ground that some of the acts that they've given out plywood that they didn't have, including some civil servants who had paid their regular bills. So we'll have to meet to look to see whether we need to bring forward the payment, depending on what happened with the storm, after the storm, to assist them, because an angry man and woman, no, if it can be gender neutral, is not a happy person, and we need some happy, strong persons to go forward to get through this pin and weather system, but we can do it together.
Okay. Any advice, Premier and Governor, in relation to people? We see liquor stores advertising the fact that they're open. We know what occurred in Hurricane Ivan. There was, looting that took place, and what was interesting was that many of the looters were going to looking for liquor establishments. We know that people deal with stress in various forms. They deal with them differently as well. But impressing upon people the importance of being level-headed and sober when there is inclement weather. You really want to have full control of all of your mental faculties as well. And the governor did mention, mental health, but I think that is going to be extremely important as well to people to say, try to stay focused, please stay sober, find other ways to occupy yourself.
Absolutely, that's a very crucial point, and will allow the governor, obviously, and Ryder, to speak to the national security aspect. But suffice to say, I would say that there was a clarion cry that went out in America when they were looking for people to go to war. They were looking for a few good men. This morning, we're looking for every single able-bodied Caymanian and resident alike to remain vigilant. We are resilient, but it's not by coincidence. It's an active modus operandi to get us to that place on level that we would want our country to be in the state of readiness. We understand that the liquor stores are a business, and we're not coming against them, but we're just saying for the next 2 days, you're not going to go bankrupt by respecting the call from the governor and myself to allow our minds to be as clear as possible. We need our men in this jurisdiction to be the men that Cayman have been known for, where you are there protecting your families, where you're there protecting your animals from an agricultural perspective, but also lending that hand. I grew up in an era, OC, where my grandfather, Lewin Brown, after he protected his own homestead, you could hear the hammers pounding in the little village of Watering Place, going and helping others. And that's what I'm asking the men to do. Delay any personal gratification that may come from drugs or that you shouldn't be doing anyway, or alcohol, and lend a helping hand. This is the time. We're not at war with Putin or even Castro regime that was there. We are at war, as it were, with nature, and we can overcome it best when we have our best faculties. So we're just asking one favor. The next couple of days, stand down your personal appetites and think about your country. Governor.
Yes, thank you. And I know, OC, you were talking about the risk of looting, which I'm sure is present in some places across the region as well. And it's just something that all governments will, of course, want to take very seriously. I think one of the things we've been doing very clearly within government is making sure that the needs of all of our people are met, so that there is not going to be some kind of desperation to go out and take food or anything else in an illegal way. We will obviously keep an eye on all of that. Police Commissioner will have his very able teams out and about immediately after the storm. And so one of our clear priorities will be to make absolutely sure that everybody remains safe, and that is in every aspect of the word. So safe also against crime and looting, and we will make sure that we take any action necessary to ensure that.
Excellent. Premier?
No, I was also just going to say that there's a certain aspect of our population that would not have experienced a storm, and particularly the younger ones. And so this is an opportunity for good family time. Take time before the storm approaches, and either through YouTube or just sitting down sharing your experience with your children, go through your hurricane plan if you're planning to stay at home or wherever you're planning to go, and also let somebody else know where you are, especially if you have overseas persons. Now with social media, you can create on your phone to let them know where you are, so that we wouldn't have that type of experience we went through in Ivan, where when East and West we were cut off, we didn't know whether people were alive or not. Establish another contact. We are our brother's keeper after all, and especially I beg for the children. We are out. Sorry, my schools are out now. The children are home, and I understand from parents that have been moving around and talking to, they can't seem to keep their cupboards filled because their appetite has seemed to have increased colossally. So we know that there are real things happening there. So take some time with your children, hug them, remind them that you love them, give them the assurance that you're there to protect them, and that your governor and I and my colleagues on both sides of us have done and continue to do everything to keep them there. And there's nothing wrong with reestablishing that family devotion time the next couple of days if you have not been doing it.
Certainly. Governor, Premier, we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
In anticipation of Hurricane Beryl's arrival, Water Authority Cayman will reconnect service to all customers who were disconnected in the last month for non-payment. Reconnection started on Monday, July 1st. This is to ensure that all customers can make the necessary preparations and store sufficient water for drinking and non-drinking purposes. Following the passing of the storm, any accounts not brought to good standing will be disconnected again. The authority encourages all customers to take note of the various store preparedness recommendations found at www.caymanprepared.gov.ky and the water and sewage specific tips on our website at www.waterauthority.ky. Please continue to follow official channels, listen to your radio, or visit our website and our social media accounts for further updates.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Governor of the Cayman Islands, Her Excellency Mrs. Jane Owen, and the Premier of the Cayman Islands, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, keeping you updated on what is taking place here in the Cayman Islands, what to expect, letting you know, and again reassuring you that the government of the Cayman Islands, we are prepared. If you're a scout or a cub, you know the motto is be prepared. Yes. And we're as prepared as we possibly can. So, ladies, I'll pass the mic back over to you.
I am happy to report that while I was here, I was seeking confirmation from my friend and colleague, the Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, if he would be willing to join us at the press conference. And he's come back and say yes. So
great.
I am very happy to hear that, because we need all hands on deck. Yes. And so the country can look forward to seeing certainly Governor, myself, Leader of Opposition. They are talking to you, as I said, other members that were going to be there. And so tune in at 2 o'clock to Radio Cayman and Government Information Services to hear the latest updates, and the press will be there. We'll be answering questions, etc. We know that we have certain medical issues in the community, and one of those that we learned from Ivan would be the dialysis issues and sometimes the need to travel overseas. And so I'll ask my colleague, and I'm sure they're listening, if not their staff, that when we have the press conference at 3 o'clock, that they could turn their attentions to how we're going to deal with those specialist mobility issues and maybe getting out of jurisdiction if necessary. I also want to say that because of the weather, our link as cargo would be the barge, and they were not able to go to the BRAC this week. So Cayman Airways, our partner and our air link, had organized yesterday, I'm reliably informed, a cargo flight to the BRAC. And so they're up and ready. And obviously, you know me, OC, when we get through the storm, if there's a necessity, we have friends. This morning, people have been reaching out from all over the Caribbean, not just governments, but friends of Cayman. And that's one thing I've always thanked the Lord for, that I did make that change from teaching to go to law, because what it did, it exposed me to a lot of private clients, and in particular in America. And a lot of them are already reaching out saying, they're sending the best regards and prayers, and they stand there for us, from universities right down to private clientele. So Cayman is a jurisdiction where we have way over 100, probably 30 different nationalities. And sometimes, there's the verbal as well as the implied friction as who we developing for, and Cayman should have the first right. And I agree with all that stuff. But we're a global community, and it's good to have friends all over the world. We help. And people help us back in return. And so I don't have enough fear after we go over. We don't have oil wells. We don't have gold bars as such. Maybe certain 1% of our population, but not the wider demographics. But I'm certain, between what the UK offers, what the United States has offered our Caribbean brothers, we will get through this together, and we will come out on the other side.
Yes. Governor?
Yes, thank you. I think it does show the strength, really, of humankind, doesn't it? We're in a strong position here, but as Honourable Premier says, it shows that in a world which very often looks very fractured and conflicted, nevertheless, you can feel that there is that natural support that we can draw on, and that we can also help to build around the region. So, kind of makes you feel good about all of that, I think.
Okay. We're going to have Mr. Giuseppe Gatta on. I think he's from the Humane Society. We're going to be calling him after you leave, talking about the pets, animals as well. But Governor, and anything that you want to opine in that area as well to say to people about their pets?
Yeah, I think there's been quite a lot of communication going out about pets, and I know people will be concerned and will be focused on it. As a dog owner myself, I mean, my dog passed away just before Christmas, as some people might know, who's quite old, but, you know, I do know what it's like to be really focused on your pets and to kind of regard them as sort of members of the family, and I know that many people will be feeling that they won't feel happy and secure unless they know that their pets are secure. So we have got a number of hurricane shelters that do take pets, so please check that out. As Danny, the head of hazard management, was saying yesterday, please don't leave your dogs tied up outside. You know, you can imagine that must be the worst fate for any animal, not to be able to escape, but to be outside in the storm. If you've got concerns, talk to people like the Humane Society, because I'm sure they can help. And as Honourable Premier has been reminding us all as well, you know, it's not just dogs and cats, but, you know, the livestock. We all need to be making preparations for all of that. And I think we do have the facilities in place. So if you're not sure, please talk to someone over the coming hours, because and actually Premier was just reminding me that the pet-friendly shelters here on Grand Cayman are John Gray High School and Clifton Hunton, so they are both pet-friendly, so you can bring your dogs and cats, but please no rattlesnakes, guinea pigs or hamsters or whatever else, because I'm not sure we can cope with those. Thank you. Honourable Premier, did you want to come in on any of this?
Just to say that in the Sister Islands we have, and actually it was from a donation from a client of mine who now resides on Marco Island. Since her husband passed, who was one of the doctors in Cameron, she donated the money for us to construct what we call Noah's Ark, and it's on the bluff of the Agriculture Centre. It'll be open today, and it's a first come, first serve for your shelter for your pets. We don't have them in our shelters on the Brac, and so I would encourage all of those in Cayman. We have a very high charitable populace that once till the storm passes by, start to plan to donate for Noah's Ark 2 in Grand Cayman, possibly somewhere in Easton, in the highest place where your animals can be safe and secure, fed and well taken care of. We are a development nation. Let's put that peg in our next developmental pocket.
Okay, we know that both of you are going to be accessible throughout, and if you can't be in the studio, we will have you, by phone or next door or whatever. But for this segment, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well, Governor.
Yes, thank you very much. I guess for me, I've been here just over a year, but it is the first really big storm. Last year was felt like, in hindsight, a relatively quiet season, didn't it? So I am one of those people who are coming to this first time round. So I think whether you're a seasoned expert on these things or whether you're new, let's all just work together and think about people's individual needs. So do people, what information do people need? What help do they need? What is their medical situation? And let's think about how we can help others, but also how we can make sure that we individually are in the strongest position, first of all, because once you've got that sorted, then you can start to think about other people. So I just urge everyone to really make sure that your home, your medicines, your family, all of that is sorted, and then please do reach out to help others as well.
Premier?
Thank you.
Just to say, at a time such as this, I can't help but remember Kirky and Donnie.
Yes.
Late Captain Keith Kent, we call him Kirk Tippett's uncle, and Captain Fred Scott. There were my support and trainees during the many storms and hurricanes that I've weathered. And so this is the first test for me with them gone, but rest assured, I think I haven't reached that age of senior citizenship that it's not between my two ears. But I'm happy to say that Mr. Colonel Gomez is a stalwart when you come to many things in the civil service, but especially at this time. I miss him tremendously. I mean, the staff that I have are marvelous. They're doing good. But Colonel was one of those quote-unquote cowboys that would charter a plane and we'd go to Little Cayman and Cayman Brac and check every single possible business and all of our civil servants, make sure that they were fueled up and way beyond the call of duty.
No stone unturned.
Yeah, and so as I was flying back in yesterday, over Grand Cayman, I couldn't help but think about Kearney. And so, Kearney, I don't know if you're listening today, but rest assured, I think you trained me pretty good, and I'm about to exercise it, but don't be afraid to pick up the phone, because we may have to be calling both you and OC because you work together. I mean, Angela Martins, Deanna Lick, Jen Dixon, they're gone in retirement, most of them, but we may have to be calling back on your expertise because we have a much younger cabinet. And I am not one of those who are afraid to say, I need help, I need guidance. I'm just throwing it out there so that you can be prepped, Kearney, and have your pen ready to go. And we want to say that Governor and I appreciate the service that our past civil servants have given to us. The baton has been passed to this new generation of civil servants. We expect no less. We know you have families, we're giving you time to go there, but if the governor, through Mr. Egber, who's acting, decides that we need all hand on decks, we need all hand on decks.
Yeah. And on another positive note, Governor, the British Virgin Islands had a governor by the name of Savage. I was trying to remember his first name, but I can't remember, but his last name was Savage. And when he retired, because the British Virgin Islands had experienced a very devastating hurricane, and he had that experience, then he became a consultant with the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, afterwards, for hurricane preparedness in the Caribbean. So your experience here, puts another feather in your cap as well. I just thought that I would mention that. Again.
Thank you.
Sorry,
yeah,
Governor.
let's hope I don't get too much experience at this challenge. But anyway, at least we're prepared for this week.
Definitely. Again, thank you all. I'm sure that the population of the Cayman Islands are extremely grateful for you being here, for you expressing your confidence, showing the confidence that you have in the people of the Cayman Islands, the confidence that you have in the people who fall under you in terms of your responsibilities as well. And we look forward to more conversations with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Folks,
very much.
we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to have Mr. Giuseppe Gada on the phone lines with us as well. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Did you know that there are over 300 public rights-of-ways to the shoreline across the 3 Cayman Islands? Now you can find them easily with the new Shoreline iMap at gov.ky/shoreline.
have I often hid my face while the storm howls above me, and there's no hiding place. There's the clash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry, keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, and the thunder sounds no more. Till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Many times Satan whispers, there is no use to try, for there is no end to your sorrow. There's no hope by and by, but I know thou art with me, and tomorrow I shall rise where the sun never darkens the sky. Till the storm passes over, and the thunder sounds no more. Till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thine hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. When the long night is ended and the storm comes no more, let me stand in that presence on that bright, peaceful shore, in that land where the tempest never comes. May I dwell with thee when the storm passes by. Oh, till the storm passes over, and the thunder sounds no more. Till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. What a fitting song for this time that we are in. One of my favorite songs, as well. I did incorrectly represent Mr. Gata as being from the Cayman Islands Humane Society, but I would just like to clarify that we have him on the line. He will not be speaking on behalf of the Humane Society, but as a person who's been involved in animal welfare in Cayman for the past 39, close to 40 years. So with that, Mr. Gata, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record. Hope you and your family are all prepared.
Good morning, O.C. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. And thanks for the Premier and Her Excellency the Governor for their very detailed information that they just gave. Thank you. And, I can see that Cayman is well prepared and we are all on the same page. What would you like to talk about it?
Well, we want you to talk about, animal welfare, how important it is. You said you've been involved for 39 years. I believe that's probably the period of time that you've been in the Cayman Islands as well. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that you've been through several hurricanes here in the Cayman Islands, and talk about, how important it is to ensure that our pets are safe, and also that livestock as well is properly taken care of. We see where the National Hurricane Hazard Management Cayman, they have pointed out those shelters that are pet friendly, which would be the Clifton Hunter High School, as well as the, trying to find the other one.
John Gray
High School. That's correct. That is correct. They are pet friendly as well. And if you know why those two may have been chosen as pet friendly, what is unique about them that they are pet friendly as well, that would be helpful. So the mic is yours. You can take it in whatever direction that you want. But
sure, no problem.
Great.
No problem. Yes, you are correct. I've been here for 39 years with my wife, Susan. She's the one that started the whole thing with animal welfare, and as a diligent husband and a follower on all of her directions, and I've been involved with her, I was her backbone, but she's really the soldier with the boots on the ground. Anyway. But yes, we have been through many hurricanes since we have been here, and we have been involved with animal welfare. We were part of the Humane Society many years ago, and then in 2010, we opened up our own Animal Welfare Society, Post Protection Animal Welfare Society, which you kindly and your group participated in our charity events of
cycling. Yes.
Cycling, but thank you very much. So basically what we are experiencing all the time, and it's very hurtful to us, is those dogs that they are chained up 24/7 in the yards, and even though they might have a kennel, but being chained up during a storm, the dogs will freak out, and sometimes they can strangle themselves because they're trying to get away from the chain because they're terrified by the storm. And also, if they are in a low-lying area, there is a possibility that they can drown. So we beg and we urge anybody that has this kind of pets on the chains outside, please bring them inside the house if you can. If not, bring them inside the garage or put them in a spare bathroom. They feel very secure in a closed environment, these animals, because they're terrified as much as we are, So make sure that you provide food and water, but please do not leave them outside during the storm. You got to provide for something for them. Otherwise, they will be dead the morning after when you get up.
Yeah.
And I urge the public, if you know that your neighbor has a dog chained up, please try to talk to them and encourage them to take the dog inside. Of course, you mentioned that there are these two shelters, but unfortunately, they're not big enough to take in a lot of dogs. We wish that all of the shelters will have a small room with cages that people can bring the pets there and be safe if they don't have any other possibility of taking them inside their household. But please, we beg you, do not leave your dog outside chained up during the storm. That's our message for the public.
Okay, Mr. Gata, I want to thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for the work that you do in terms of animal welfare as well. And to you and your family, please stay safe during the inclement weather, during Hurricane Beryl as it approaches and passes the Cayman Islands as well. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Osi, and thanks for what you're doing with your program. Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. I'm going to open up the phone lines. If you want an opportunity to tell us what's happening in your area, how you are faring, as far as preparations are concerned as well, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
When a storm is approaching, be sure to stock up on drinking water and non-drinking water. That is, water for cleaning and washing. You can store non-drinking water in clean bathtubs or other large sterile containers. Visit the Water Authority's website, www.waterauthority.ky, or follow us on social media for more hurricane preparedness tips.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before we conclude the show this morning, again, I want to remind those of you who are desirous of obtaining a waiver which will allow you to enter the United States of America. And of course, the waiver means that you have to be traveling on a designated carrier as well. It has to be a carrier that has been designated by the U.S., but the passport office is open from 8:30 this morning. They will close at 12 p.m. Limited services offered for U.S. visa waivers as well as temporary passports. For the waivers, you must provide a police clearance certificate as well. That means, and on that police clearance certificate, you can't have any convictions, criminal, convictions. Otherwise, it will show on there, and then the U.S. authorities will not allow you to enter the U.S., on that. Also, don't confuse the waiver, which you can obtain if you hold a Cayman Islands British passport. So it's going to say Cayman Islands on it, as opposed to the passport that says British citizen. For those passports that say British citizen, as opposed to Cayman Islands, you apply for the ESTA online. It is good for 2 years if it is approved, and I believe you pay something like maybe $14 and not much more than that, for that as well. You usually obtain that within 7 to 2 hours of application. In most instances, you obtain it, before then as well. And some may ask, why is this so necessary? Those of you who experienced Hurricane Ivan, and you heard mention of the fact that after Hurricane Ivan, we had some segments of our society that were extremely vulnerable. And for instance, those patients requiring dialysis. Since then, we have seen an increase in the number of dialysis machines on island, not only in government, but I would imagine in the private sector as well. But those persons requiring dialysis were our priority in terms of getting them off the island. And of course, the U.S. government was extremely accommodating in that regard, as well. We don't know what may transpire. We know after Hurricane Ivan that our infrastructure was so damaged that there were question marks in terms of when certain areas would have electricity back, where certain areas would have water back, as well. And many families decided that they would take their families off the island, relocate them temporarily, as well. So obtaining that waiver is a precautionary measure that positions you to be able to leave the island if it becomes necessary. We hope and we pray that that is not the case. But again, you want to be proactive. You can do so. The passport office, passport and corporate services office will be closing at 12 p.m. Just want to share with you the Jamaica Gleaner and the CTO chairman, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, minister here in the Cayman Islands. They have issued a release urging the region to continue exercising vigilance as Hurricane Beryl approaches. And it reads, Chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, CTO, Kenneth Bryan, is calling on the region to continue exercising vigilance during the hurricane season by preparing for storms while also being ready to respond and recover swiftly. And it adds this quote, even as we protect life and property here in the Western Caribbean, we stand in solidarity with the people of St. Vincent and the islands of the Grenadines who have been severely impacted by Hurricane Beryl. And that's a quote from Minister Bryan, who he said, who is also the Minister of Tourism and Ports in the Cayman Islands. Their pain is our pain, and their struggles are felt across our entire region, said the CTO chairman, adding that when one member of our Caribbean family is affected, we all feel the impact. But together, we must unite and support each other through these challenging times. The Miami-based National Hurricane Center, NHC, is the latest in its latest weather bulletin said that Hurricane Beryl, which has been blamed for at least 4 deaths when it made its way through the Windward Islands earlier this week, is expected to bring hurricane conditions to Jamaica by midday with life-threatening winds and storm surge. The Category 4 storm is 125 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, and 430 miles southeast of Grand Cayman in the Cayman Islands, with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles an hour. I won't give you much more on that forecast because we have an updated forecast, you say, Paul, since then, and of course we will share that. That has just been updated as well. Do we have any calls? No callers on hold, so we have about 5 minutes left to go in the show as well. I want to remind persons also that the Cayman Islands is a member of the Caribbean. It's called CCRIF, Caribbean Catastrophe Recovery Fund. It is a parametric insurance fund, and we are a party to that, as well as other Caribbean countries as well. And what they do is they provide a certain amount of liquidity after a hurricane. And you don't necessarily have to have a direct strike, but based on the wind conditions and what we experience, that will determine the payout as well. At some other point in time, I may get an opportunity to explain to you what that is all about. But I would say this, that the Cayman Islands should give a nod of gratitude to former leader of government business in the Cayman Islands, the then Honorable D. Kurt Tibbetts, who at a Chatham House conference heard about this fund that was being established by the World Bank and other international agencies, and was extremely eager for the Cayman Islands to join, as well. And when it was first became a reality, then we were certainly one of the first to join. There were other Caribbean countries that were facing challenges as far as paying the premiums, and the other better off Caribbean countries like Bermuda, like the Cayman Islands, assisted them in that endeavor for them to be able to be a part of that by paying parts of their premium as well. So we are party to that. If necessary, that will provide some financial relief to the government of the Cayman Islands in the event that we are damaged by the hurricane as well. But if you have an interest, just Google CCRIF and you will find the information there. As a matter of fact, I believe that they held one of their annual meetings here in the Cayman Islands a few months ago, as well. So folks, again, we want to extend our gratitude to the governor and the Honorable Premier of the Cayman Islands for being on For the Record this morning, sharing information with us, also giving advice as to what we should not do. And they, along with all of your elected members of Parliament, are certainly busy, and they're all certainly involved as well. Please continue to be kind to each other, especially during these challenging times. I would say if you can't say anything good, then please don't say anything at all, at least during this period of time. We want to support each other. We are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and no other time than now, we need to extend a helping hand to them. We want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So, again, if you can't reach out and extend a helping hand, then we suggest you donate to a worthy charity, as well. We ask the good Lord to continue to bless these 3 beautiful Cayman Islands. And as the song says, keep us safe till the storm passes by. Further information, all updates, accurate information, ensure that you stay tuned to Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And Radio Cayman will be on air as long as we possibly can during this ordeal as well. Folks, thank you all very much. Please stay safe and God bless.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.